Citigroup sets restrictions on gun sales by business partners. Welcome to the Rich Carroll program. I am your host, Rich Carroll. So I want to talk to you today about banks taking gun control into their own hands. Congress is not working fast enough for these banks, and I guess they're wanting to do their part to combat gun violence. And I guess they think the best way to do this is to punish gun manufacturers and those who do business with them. So I wanted to make you aware of what Citibank and what Bank of America are doing and how you can push back against them. So the story I'm reading comes from the New York Times, March 22nd, 2018. Citigroup is setting restrictions on the sale of firearms by its business customers. The new policy prohibits the sale of firearms to customers who have not passed a background check or who are younger than 21. It also bars the sale of bump stocks and high-capacity magazines. It would apply to clients who offer credit cards backed by Citigroup or borrow money, using banking services or raise capital through the company. Citigroup said it had begun to inform existing small business and credit card clients and commercial and institutional partners of its plan and would screen future partners using the new requirements. Citigroup said it did not have the technology nor the legal ability to monitor gun purchases at the payment processing level, but said that the industry was discussing the possibility. So that's what Citigroup is doing. And here's a fun story, actually. I canceled a Best Buy credit card a few weeks ago, which was lended through Citibank. Now, I didn't know about this story at the time, but when I found out about it, it made that cancellation that much sweeter. So I want to go on to another story in thehill.com, and it says Bank of America to stop lending to military-style weapons makers. A Bank of America executive announced Tuesday that the bank will stop lending money to companies that manufacture military-style rifles that are available for civilians to purchase. Bank of America had said that after the shooting in Parkland, Florida in mid-February, it was exploring ways it could contribute to stemming gun violence. Asked if Bank of America would stop doing business with retailers that sell assault weapons, Bank of America Vice Chair Ann Finucane said, "That's a good public dialogue, but that's a ways off." So the banks, they're attacking gun rights by restricting companies who bank with them, or they're just not doing business with gun makers at all. And the Bank of America Vice Chair even thinks it would be worth considering not doing business with retailers who sell assault weapons. And let me stop and say, we just need to stop saying assault weapons, okay? It's a semi-automatic rifle. That's what they're talking about. They're giving it another name to make it sound scarier to whoever hears it. Now, I know that there are plenty of you out there who are watching and listening to this show that most likely don't agree with what these two banks are doing. So I want to tell you about a third bank, and you may have heard of them, Wells Fargo. This story is in the Washington Times. Wells Fargo resists pressure to stop offering banking services to NRA and gun makers. The American Federation of Teachers has threatened to pull its business from Wells Fargo unless it severs ties with the National Rifle Association and gun manufacturers. But so far, the bank is resisting. "We're issuing Wells Fargo an ultimatum," said AFT President Randy Weingarten. "They can have a mortgage market that includes America's teachers, or they can continue to do business with the NRA and gun manufacturers. They can't do both." Wells Fargo CEO Tim Sloan said in an April 3rd letter, "I do not believe that the American public wants banks to decide which legal products consumers can and cannot buy." I've got to read that again. "I do not believe that the American public wants banks to decide which legal products consumers can and cannot buy." Thank you so much, Mr. Sloan, for saying what needed to be said. Wells Fargo was described as the go-to bank for gun makers and the NRA by Bloomberg, the news organization owned by gun control activist Michael Bloomberg. Get this. Wells Fargo Home Lending helped provide mortgages to 1,600 AFT members in 2017 and offers special assistance to teachers struggling to make down payments on homes through its neighborhood Lift program. So, the American Federation of Teachers, I guess their leaders don't care about the benefits that Wells Fargo is offering their teachers. They're saying it's our way or the highway. You can't have our business and have the gun manufacturers and the NRA's business at the same time. Quite honestly, they sound like bullies. But I applaud Wells Fargo for standing up against that pressure, because I know that there are plenty of other businesses out there that would have folded. Now, I told you that I'm going to give you a way to push back, and you already know what it is. If you have an account, a card, or do any business with these two banks, Citibank and Bank of America, cancel it and go somewhere else. And they always ask, why are you leaving us? Why are you closing your account? You just tell them, I don't appreciate a bank implementing backdoor gun control, so I'm going to take my business to Wells Fargo or some other institution that isn't going to lay down to gun control. And at least the CEO of Wells Fargo wants to stick to banking. Guys, I'm Rich Carroll. Thank you for joining me. God bless.